Hey guys, I think I'm kind of backlit here, aren't I? Probably need to turn the camera around. We'll turn it around here in just a minute. That's okay. I kind of got it backwards here. The sun's over there behind me, so I may be a little dark in the shadows, but that's okay. We're just going to be here for a minute and introduce what we're doing today. This is just an update video. I'm just going to take you around, show you how things are going here, because I had lots of questions recently about how the garden's doing, how the rabbit's doing, how the chicken's doing, how the quail doing, you know, that kind of thing. So we're just going to take a look around. I've been a couple of weeks without a video. Apologize for that. I need to get better at getting a little bit more consistent with that. A lot going on, but I think we've turned a page anyway. Got things a little bit more settled down, adjusted my new work schedule, and got the in-laws moved into independent living facility. They seem to be doing really, really well over there, but spent the last couple of weekends pretty busy moving stuff for them. So long story short, let's just take a walk around. Let's just see how everything's doing. First things first, let's check on the rabbits. We got the babies here from this doe and this buck right here, these two. And then the babies down there from that doe and this buck right here. If you guys have been following, you've already seen them. So we'll take a look at the babies and show you how they're doing. They are, I don't know, close to 8 weeks old right now. They're growing out a little bit slow, but that's okay. I'm trading off a little bit of a slower grow out rate for some mellow rabbits, because you know, your New Zealands, they do tend to grow out pretty fast. A lot of times if you get good quality New Zealands, you can get them up to 5 pounds by 8 weeks old. And these guys are, oh, I don't know, maybe 2.5 pounds, 3 by now. They're nowhere near 5 pounds. It's going to take them probably every bit of 12 weeks to grow out, which does mean a little higher food costs. In the past, I've kind of talked about how I really prefer a faster growing rabbit when it's just for meat, but I kind of got past that a little bit. And I really like these silver foxes. They're just mellow, easy to deal with. They're not crazy and neurotic like those New Zealand does tend to be. So that's why I'm sticking with them. So I'll just tell you, just giving you that heads up before you see them, because you're going to be like, sorry, I got distracted by a bird at the bird feeder. A little, looks like a little chickadee. You usually don't see those in the summertime. You usually see them in the winter. Anyway, where was I? I got a little ADD today, I guess. When you see them, you're going to think, boy, these guys don't look very big for 8 weeks old, but that's why, you know, they're just a little bit slower growing. So let's get in there. Let's take a look at them. All right, it's going to be hard to see most of them because most of them are black, and we're looking into a shadowy hole here, but you can see my little chocolate bunny right here. I don't even know if that's a male or a female. I haven't sexed them out yet. I think I may have actually, when I sold 2 does from this litter and a buck from the other litter, and I think I may have sexed them at the time, but I've forgotten what it was, so I'd have to do it again. But anyway, let's open this up. These guys, they're growing pretty good. I had a little bit of an issue initially. I thought they were wasting a bunch of feed because the feed was just getting spilled everywhere. And I figured out that my feeder had a hole in the bottom of it, and the feed was just falling out through the bottom of the feeder, so I had to get a new feeder. But this is them. And this is what I mean by mellow rabbits. I mean, look at that. I can just reach in and pet them. The doe, she doesn't mind at all. Just calm. Now, go to pick them up, and there's a little bit of excitement, but not too much. Oh, sorry, I'm not in camera, am I? Well, he's kicking a little. He doesn't want to be held. He's a little freaked out by that, but still way easier to handle. Didn't even leave a mark. Way easier to handle than those New Zealands that I usually get. And we got a couple of different, you know, mostly black in this litter. Starting to silver out already, though. They're looking pretty good, all in all. I do need to get some grow out pens built because I need to get them, you know, moved out of this cage basically into the other cage. But they're looking pretty good. You got something on your ear there. Try to do that with a New Zealand. Just reach in and grab them. I don't know if you can even see that. And, oh, look, you got a little bit of loose fur there. They're going through a mold. Oh, I said it didn't leave a mark, did leave a mark. I'm on blood thinners, so just any little scratch just bleeds like crazy. Let me see if I can get in a little bit closer. We'll take a closer look at them. Okay, there you go. It's just a sea of black back there. They're all laying back at the back of the cage. But I don't want to pester them too much. It's not too hot out today, but it is warm, and they're kind of mellow. These are all the babies. Here's Mama right here. Right there, there's Mama. And then the one little chocolate. I kind of like the chocolate. I think he's kind of cool. But that's them. That's the newest babies. All right, let's see if we can get in here. I'm holding the camera in hand instead of on the tripod, so apologize if it's a little bit shaky, especially while I open this cage up. But this is the other litter, and they were almost all blue. We only had 2 blacks out of this litter. And look at that. Nice silvering on them. Looks pretty good. But these guys are mellow too. Let me see if I can flip the door up. Oh, sorry, got the camera off probably. There we go. But like these guys, like I said, you need to reach in, just pet them, and they almost seem like they enjoy it. They just enjoy some attention every once in a while. There's Mama back there in the corner. She's hiding back, well, not hiding, she's just laying back there. Doesn't want to move around too much, it's kind of hot. But all in all, these guys are a little bigger. They're growing out a little faster than that last one. They're both the same age, but these guys are a little bigger, and they're super soft. Just love their fur. It's just nice and soft. I like these blue phase silver foxes. Kind of hope they make them an official color so people can show them. I think they're just a beautiful little rabbit. But yeah, like I said, need to build some grow out pens, get these guys out of here, get them in their own cages. But there you go. Doesn't matter, I wasn't petting you anymore. Need some more attention. Alright, that's the rabbits. Let's go take a look at what else is going on. Alright, well, you can probably tell we're in the garden now. Garden's doing great. It's kind of early, so there's not a whole lot to talk about right here. Starting to get some of the peppers. I think these are poblanos. I can't remember what I planted here. This one needs to be staked out. It's kind of leaning, but that's okay. That's not going to hurt it. I'll get a stake and stake it out, or I'll maybe do something like I did. These are tomatillas over here. I've never grown tomatillas before, so this is something new. They were leaning too, so I just put a stick up here and use these tomato tie out things to lift them up off the ground, keep them off the ground. I don't know, I may do something similar here, tie them up, or I may put stakes out to just stake these things up, because a couple of them are falling over, and that happens pretty frequently with my peppers, it seems like. These are habaneros back here. They grow really slow, so they're much smaller than jalapenos, and then poblanos over here, I believe. And we're starting to get these flowering out, so it won't be long. We'll have some fruit forming on these. And the tomatillos, they're doing great, flowering out really well. And then we've got green beans. That whole row all the way down is all green beans. Lots of green beans, and I'm getting a phone call. So let me pause, take this phone call. I'll be right back with you. All right, that phone call finally ended, so I'm back with you. I kind of forgot where we left off. I realized I was talking about peppers right here in front of me, and I don't think you can even see them, so I'll get you turned around here in a minute and we'll take a look at the peppers. And unfortunately, we've got the neighbor's yapping dog outside now, so this is going to be annoying. But maybe he'll shut up. She. I think it's a she. Anyway, so again, tomatillas over here. I've never grown those before. So I tied them up because they were kind of laying down on the ground. Whole row of green beans. They're doing great. They're starting to flower out, so we'll have some green beans before long. I got okra growing right here. I don't know if you can see that. It's pretty small. It's not huge at this point, so it's just getting started. And then tomatoes, row tomatoes. They're doing pretty good. Starting to flower out. Got a few with a little bit of fruit on them, not much. And then we got some eggplant down here and some cucumbers down there. I don't want to walk down that area with the camera because that's where the dog is, and it's going to freak out and bark even more. So here we go. All right, so you can see maybe the cucumbers down there on the end of this row growing up around a tomato cage. Some of them are pretty small. I had some problems with cucumbers this year getting them started. I thought it was slugs eating them. Now I'm wondering if it's not earwigs that were eating them. As they would come up, they'd sprout just fine, and then something would eat the top of them off. I had to start them over several times. So some of them are going pretty good, and some of them are still only about that tall because I had to start over several times. My eggplant right out here, it's doing okay. It's doing pretty good, actually. It's flowering out too. So things are going pretty good. I got a little bit of bug damage on some of these green beans, but I think it's earwigs. I thought it was Japanese beetles at first because they just love green beans. And I put out my Japanese beetle trap. Haven't caught a one, haven't seen a single Japanese beetle. So now I'm thinking it's probably earwigs because we're just overrun with earwigs. We got them everywhere. They're just eating everything. So I've set out a few traps. We'll go take a look at that here in just a minute. I'll show you kind of how to take care of earwigs if you have a problem with them. But the garden itself is doing pretty good. It's just early. There's not a whole lot going on. I do have turnips over there growing in a box. I've got garlic back there. Some potatoes over here. I mean, it's just nothing's real big yet because it's just early in the season. But things look pretty good. I'll show you some of this damage I've got on the green beans, and what earwig damage kind of looks like, because it looks a lot like slug damage, which is very similar to Japanese beetle damage in a lot of ways. But let me take you over there and we'll show you. All right, so you can see this is my okra growing right here. And then we'll walk down here anyway. I said I wasn't going to, but we'll walk down here. So this is the eggplant right here. Got some eggplant growing right there. And then cucumber down here. And I always grow my cucumbers around tomato cages and let them just climb. This one looks great. It's doing fantastic. The rest of them doing great. They're just a little bit on the small side. And they look pretty good. There's not a lot of damage on those. So I'm kind of hopeful that maybe the earwigs are leaving things alone. One tomato plant looks pretty sickly right here. It's one of my beefsteak tomatoes, a little droopy. I think I may have been over watering it. I was watering, but the other one looks pretty good. It's on the small side. And then the rest of these are all paste tomatoes all the way down this row, and they look pretty good. And there's the dog. All right, so the green beans, not a ton of damage on them, but you can see some of them are starting to, they have these little jagged holes in them where they've just been chewed up, but not a ton. Overall, they look pretty good. They're flowering out, so we'll have green beans here pretty quick. Well, I have a lot of green beans all the way down this row is nothing but green beans. But this is down here. There's a little more damage. You can see right there. That's kind of, slug damage looks a lot like that. That looks more like Japanese beetle where they skeletonized the leaves, but it could still be the earwigs. And I know this because I've had a lot of problems with earwigs this year. But anyway, this is the main garden. Let's go take a look at the green stock. Oh, before I go, pepper plants. Take a look at those. The poblanos here on the end. There's the one I need to stake up right there. That's kind of laying out like that. Two of them actually. I need to stake up a couple of them. And then the jalapenos over there, the habaneros down there on the very end. But they're starting to flower out, so we're getting some flowers. And we'll have peppers before long. All right, here's the green stock. I tell you what, I have been super impressed with this thing. It may not look that great right now because most of my lettuce is about ready to bolt. We've been harvesting like crazy off this stuff. So but it did grow out great. It's just, we've been harvesting like crazy. Beets up here, radish is up here. This is a new planting of radish. So, we've already harvested all of it and replanted it. And then my bok choy has just been chewed up like crazy, and it's all earwigs. So I told you I'd show you how to trap earwigs. I finally did. I was just a little slow to get it, but just a shallow dish like this, and put it just a little bit of vegetable oil in there and a little bit of soy sauce. And I don't know if you can see in there, probably not. Let me see if I can get the camera off the tripod and take a better look. There's not a whole lot in there right now because, well, I've been trapping them. I already had to empty this trap one time. It was just full of them, and refill it, and I only caught a handful since then, so I think I got the majority of them up here anyway. But I don't know. Let's see if we can get the camera off the tripod. We'll show you inside there. Maybe you'll be able to see them. All right, so I don't know how well that is showing up on camera if you can see through the oil, but there's a couple of little earwigs down in there. This trap works great. It's just vegetable oil and a little bit of soy sauce. That's it. Set it out here, it draws them in. Yeah, it works fantastic. So again, I don't know if you can see them or not. I can see them, but I don't know how well it's showing up on camera. You may not be able to see anything at all. But I need to set some of these out in the garden. I haven't done that. Set them out in the garden and catch the earwigs out there, because you can see, like I said, the bok choy has just been destroyed by earwigs. And I know it's earwigs because as I'm harvesting stuff, I'm finding earwigs on it as I'm harvesting it. There goes one right there. There goes another one right there. So look at that, two of them. I don't know if I caught those on camera or not, but we've got such a problem with them this year. And they're on everything. Let's see if we got some over here maybe. Well, it's better than it was. There were a whole lot more. But anyway, that is the green stock. It's time to harvest a lot of this stuff and replant, especially my lettuce. I need to do final harvests on that and replant it because it's getting kind of long and getting ready to bolt. But all in all, this thing is doing fantastic. We have had a ton of salads, radishes, Carrots still have a little ways to go before they're done. But it's really producing really well. And don't forget, if you are interested in picking up a green stalk garden of your own, it's, again, it's on wheels. You spin it around. I mean, it's everything you need to ask for in growing a lot of food in a very small space. I do have a link down below in my description where you can get a discount on it. Use the code REDNECK. Look for that link down below. Pick up your very own green stock. Grow yourself a ton of food in a very small space. All right, let's go take a look at the quail. All right, nothing too exciting going on with the quail. I mean, I've had a couple of hatches. I've been selling the babies. I had a guy locally that wanted to buy a whole bunch, so I did several hatches for him. I do have some eggs in the incubator right now that when they hatch out, I'm going to be making those my future breeders and be able to process some of these guys. I've got 1 or 2 of them that are molting. They're looking a little scraggly on the back there, losing some feathers, but they'll grow them back. They'll look fine. But let me open this hutch up here real quick. Probably see, watch right here. When I open this up, you'll see earwigs just falling like crazy from there probably. Now there's only 1 or 2. He was in the cracks, you probably couldn't see him. But anyway, we got a couple of them. Now they're all moving to the other side. So nothing going on. I mean, the quail are doing fine. These guys are going on probably 2 years old, maybe a little bit over that, honestly. And this is my main breeders right here, the ones I made it through the summer with, and the ones that have produced all the eggs that I've been hatching out over the last 1.5 years. You can see the ones back there in the corner missing some feathers on their back. That's just from molting. I'm going to lose a bird if I'm not careful. Don't want to have to chase them down, so we'll close this back up. So anyway, nothing too terribly exciting going on with the quail right now. That's the only hutch I've got going. Probably need to give them some water. Let me check that real quick. Yeah, they're okay. They got enough to make it through another day probably, so I'll deal with that tomorrow. Like I said, nothing too terribly exciting going on with them. They're still here, still producing eggs every single day. We've been eating a lot of quail eggs, and I saved some up, and I've got some in the incubator now. So we'll be getting some new birds here pretty quick. All right, one more thing to show you. The chickens in the chicken tractor, the meat chickens, I moved them today from the brooder to the chicken tractor. So let's go take a look at those. They're about 3 weeks old right now. All right, I've got they're all gonna run to the back whenever I walk over here probably. I've got this tarp over the top of them because I just moved them out today. It's supposed to rain tonight, so I want to give them a little bit of protection from the rain, a little extra protection. There is a metal roof on this thing that goes from here back, but it's old. It was reclaimed metal to begin with, sheet metal, and it's got a few little holes in it. It might drip down through, and there's 25 meat birds in here, so I wanted to give them just a little bit of extra cover. Just in case they're not smart enough to get underneath that when it does start raining, they won't get too wet because, like I said, just moved them out today. They've been off the heat lamp for a little while, so they should be okay, acclimated to the temperature. But today's our first day on grass, and they are excited. Let's see what time it is because they need to take their food away from them here. I'll just take their food away from them right now, and we'll open this up and get a better glimpse at it. Take the tarp off here. Well, undo it a little bit just to get the top of it. I'll go ahead and get the food out and bring you in closer. There you go, there's all the chickens. And they're doing great. They're loving their new closure. This is their first time on grass. So they are super excited. You can see them just pecking around, scratching and going after bugs and whatever kind of grass they can find. I mean, they're after everything. They're just going crazy. They're just loving it right now. So yeah, that's it. I've got a whole nother video series I'm doing on these guys, Cornish cross chickens from start to finish. So that video will be out in a couple of weeks, probably it'll be a while because they're only 3 weeks old right now. So they won't finish for a little while. And once they do though, I'll put that video out and you can watch them from the time I got them all the way until they're fully grown. All right, let me get this thing closed back up. Get the tarp tied back down in case it does rain. that snake. I stepped on it. Gonna have to reset it, I think. Good grief. Can't find a spot that doesn't have a rock right under the ground to dig this thing in. There we go. Maybe that'll work. We'll find out. All right, that should hold. Don't step on it again, right? Well, that's pretty much it. I mean, that's a rundown of what's going on right now. We are, I don't guess we're officially in summer yet, but for the most part, we're into summer. Things are in full production right now, and you know, everything's going pretty good. It's just a matter of hurry up and wait on the garden to produce and, you know, wait on everything else. So anyway, just thought I'd give you guys a quick update. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed that. And as always, God bless.